Welcome back to another episode of the Verified Pastor Bros. My name is Mason. What we have today here. Now, it's a different topic than we usually talk about. I don't think this is a Verified Pastor Bro topic, but it's just something I thought was worth mentioning. Is that I'll keep it short and simple today. It's just like the difference between like victim mentalities and bullies. Um, and it's funny. It's funny. Is that um like victim mentalities are actually people with victim mentalities are actually bullies. There's a lot of similarities between victims and bullies. You're at school, you have to make sure you don't make eye contact with the bully. When you're at school, you have to make sure you don't walk a certain way around the bully. You have to like toughen up a little bit, or you have to like have some anxiety when you walk past the bully. When you're in school, you can't say, like, you have to be careful what you say to the bully, and the bully would just attack you. Like, just if he wants to attack you, he'll attack you. That's a bully. I'm not trying to fix the like to shape the narrative or to like tunnel vision the narrative so you can get one point to say another thing. No, I'm just literally naming out the similarities. There are differences, don't get me wrong. A bull is confident. But I think sometimes victim mentality, victim people can be confident as well. Like that, the audacity of these people sometimes is crazy. But the main difference is that a victim becomes a bully once he feels attacked and oppressed. Once he feels oppressed, he feels like he has audacity to do anything. So, for example, like there's a lot of similarities between bullies and victim mentality or victims. A lot of similarities. When I walk past a victim, I'm careful what I say. When I walk past a victim, the moment he or she feels oppressed, she'll just say anything, think anything, and like have any accusation against me. Granted, between bullies and victims, the attacks are different completely. Like, you see me? But the thing about victim mentality is just that they're practically bullies. There are bullies. Once they feel oppressed, they feel like there is no accountability in their attacks, and that's the issue with majority of the issues in the world. Like, that's the core of issues. Like, when somebody feel oppressed or they feel like they're being victimized, whether by themselves or not, once they feel like a victim, they have no accountability for their actions because, all right, you did me wrong, I can do you wrong. So, all right, let me be outrageous because I have all right to be outrageous. If you look at it at a closer level, I think there's a lot of truth behind that because even for example, I was watching Piers Morgan and this guy in a pink shirt. That's all I remember is this guy in a pink shirt. I don't want to remember anything else. He was saying, "Oh, Piers, you cannot identify as a two-spirit penguin, but somebody else can identify as a two-spirit penguin." I'm like, wow, the rules are constantly changing, and if you can't keep up with the rules, you are a bigot. It's crazy. So I'm like, what's the difference? In my mind, I'm thinking to myself, like, what's the difference between Piers Morgan and a regular person who's confused? Like, why is Piers don't have the right to identify the two-spirit being? Because to that guy in a pink shirt, Piers does not seem to be oppressed. Piers seemed to have too much confidence to be a victim initially. Victimhood confidence comes from oppression. Once you feel oppressed, I can do anything I want to do. Man, if that was just like realized, you can say, okay, I feel like a victim, let's be the best person I can be. Yeah, only if that worked. But yeah, and I have to say, a lot of females they put themselves in the victim mentality, and these females are now becoming bullies. They always hated. A lot of these victims are becoming bullies that they always hated when they're younger, and now look at them, they're bullies themselves. So the reality situation is this for me personally is just because like once somebody feel oppressed, they become bullies. Once somebody feel like they are being victimized, they become bullies, and they become the very thing that they hate. Which is funny because, like, for example, with women, as I said before, the whole beer argument, bro. The only thing I get from that stupid beer argument is like, bro, I've been going to the gym for 2 years. It's about time someone acknowledge I'm more dangerous than a beer. But I want to have that topic for a different video. But essentially, like women man shaming men is practically them feeling victimized by men and then expressing that victimhood. Even if they don't, like the thing about victim mentality is this: you don't need to actually be a victim. Once you can victimize yourself, you feel oppressed, and then the right to do and say whatever you want to say comes after.
Funny, ain't it?
So because again, the way how bullying and victims work, if you said, say, or did the things that they do to you, it's a complete different ballgame. That in itself is a problem. If I treat a certain way and you treat me back a certain way, right? I can't say, oh no, that action is not right. I can do it to you, but you can't do it to me. It, it doesn't matter the context. However, if someone initiated, for me personally, if someone initiated an attack or initiated an offensive attack, I'll respond in a defensive way. I'm not really defensive, but more like a neutral stance or something if I can. But that action is not an action. That action is a reaction. So my reactions can be offensive or defensive depending on the circumstances. But I'll never initiate a reaction. I'll never initiate an offensive reaction. I'll never initiate a defensive reaction. And that's the key thing between victims. That's a very very key thing. Victims. When people are behaving defensive, you can always tell. People are defensive. So if you just take it from the words itself, being someone's being defensive, defend. When someone's already being defensive in the first couple seconds of interaction, that means they already feel attacked. You cannot defend something you cannot attack. So a lot of defensive mentalities, once you recognize it, you know, say, hey, they're feeling attacked. Even if you didn't say anything. Sometimes my existence of a black man, a lot of females feel attacked just because of my existence. Man, and then once they feel attacked, they feel the right to defend. And is that defense from attack that gives people the obligation to do anything they want to do, say anything they want to say, react anyway, how, and so on, within context for some of them. So, for example, if I'm walking down the street and I see a woman crossing, I see a woman is going to, pass by each other, just being there, it feel her make her feel attacked. So she feels like it's okay to scar me. She feels it's okay to make me to perceive me as like a rapist or a murderer or something like of that nature. She feels like, oh, I can perceive it this way because now I feel attacked. And in actuality, have I touched this woman? No. Have I said it? I've not even looked at this woman. My very existence can make people be on the defensive. I understand that because of what other people did. Not fair, but that's how it goes. So, because of she feeling attacked or she victimizing herself or victimizing herself, I think victimizing just self-attacked and then blame it on other people. That's just victim mentality, particularly. You self-attack yourself and say it's other people who attack you, so you can react defensive in any which way you how, and that's where the whole outrageous attacks come from. So for me personally, it's never been about like for me, I never do that. I'll never do that. If I attack, I keep it within. I never is if I attack, I deal with it directly to the person, and I keep it within the context. If I feel attacked in a certain conversation, I keep it within that certain conversation. I'm not going to escalate it, but that's just me. But anyways, so a woman is walking past, she can now perceive me anyway, which how just because my existence, because now she feels attacked. Feeling of attack gives a right to manifest it in the real world. So I'm gonna in the real world, I want to manifest my fears and my defensive on you, and you have nothing to say about it because you attacked me first and I defend. So I'm the victim. You can't say anything. That's not cool because there was a song, it was a love song that was says that if I've been accused of cheating, I might as well cheat. Man, if we went to that other contest, there will be uproars. There'll be outrages. There'll be the Cold War. If men took that logic out of context, I can't remember the name of the song, but there's a love song that says, if you accuse me of cheating for so much, I might as well have. If you accuse me for being a murderer, I might as well have. Ladies, if you're watching or well, listening, um, you perceiving if you are walking in town and you're okay, let's say genuinely afraid because you can't really verify. Can't verify means can't validate. So you can't validate, can't call it. So whatever. So you have to go by what they say. So if they say they feel afraid, they feel afraid. Right, sure, fine. So if they feel genuinely afraid, right, and you perceive me as a killer, That's not helping the situation, by the way. That's not helping. If I'm walking in town and you perceive me as a killer and we don't know each other and we have never talked to each other and you perceive me as a killer, right? It's not what that does. This is what happens when you are when you accuse someone of doing something they haven't done. It makes it twice as hard or almost 10 times harder to prove to you that they're not. For example, I'm going to use a contrast between cheating in a relationship and being an actual killer, like killing people. When you accuse someone in a relationship, when you accuse someone of cheating, it makes it that difficult for the person to prove the loyalty. It makes it difficult because you're looking the other way. So when you're doing one thing, you're not even seeing it because you're looking for reason to call him a cheater. You're not looking for a reason to call him a loyal partner. So if you're looking for what you look for, you will find. So if you're looking for reason to cheat to call the person a cheater, you find those reasons, even if they're trying to be as loyal as possible in the moment. No, same thing with me and a random lady walking. Me and a random lady walking, like if you perceive me as a killer, it makes it twice as hard to prove to you I'm not a killer. That's the problem. If you just like level and stop being defensive and start, I can then prove to you I'm not a killer. But once you start to perceive me as a killer, it becomes that much difficult to prove to you I'm not a rapist, not a murderer, I'm not going to kidnap. It makes it that difficult. So that's the issues that men have in society. Is like, so now we are trying to do the mission impossible when we walk past a female stranger to say, hey, I'm not that guy, I'm not that word, I'm not him, I have no intention to do this. I don't know if I'm not going to do that. How can he prove to you? So instead of you saying, hey, let's just innocent till proven guilty, and most women are online. I have to specify that because a lot of men think that the woman online are the woman in real life, and that's not the case. Woman online is perceiving as is guilty to proven innocence. Now, if you're guilty, how do you prove innocence? That's a problem because if you're innocent until proven guilty, there's a platform for you to be proven guilty. Meaning that if I was suspected of murder, there's a platform for me to be guilty. DNA test come back, witness, like there is reason. But if I am guilty to proven innocent, what's the platform to prove the innocence? Because if I'm accused of a killer, right, and let you put me in jail because I'm guilty, are you really going to look if I'm innocent after being proven guilty? If I'm perceived as guilty, are you then looking for a reason to come innocent? No, you're not. No, you're not. So I think a lot of the times when we use a guilty to prove an innocence, it's like once I see you as guilty, the story done. We're no longer interested in finding if you're innocent or not. And I think that's not cool. That's really and truly not cool. If so, it goes back to the whole victim mentality. Like, even if you think I'm attacking you, or you give me the opportunity to prove that I am not attacking you, or you give me the opportunity to show you I'm not a murderer, or you give me the opportunity to show you I'm not. Because if you don't give an opportunity, you are not looking for reason to see me otherwise. And then to add more pressure on that to previous contrast with cheating in a relationship, you know how easy it is to cheat in a relationship when you're the easiest time to cheat in a relationship, well, there's two, is when they're actually suspecting you of cheating or they're completely not expecting it, right? And again, that kind of contrasts the first topic. But my thing is that the best times to kill someone is when they really expect you to be a killer, but they haven't proven it yet. It's just like it just influences you to do it. It doesn't make the situation easier, but it's just like if I'm being accused of it, why am I doing things to prove that I'm not? Because everything I do that is not, it's like I know I just contradict myself. Apologize, but if what I'm trying to say this is influence I'm talking about, not settings or platforms. I'm like influence. If I'm being accused of being a killer, that's just making my ethics of being a gentleman meaningless. So why bother? Is it my acts of gentleness for your own entertainment?
What is it for? If I'm going to be accused of being a murderer, before I can even prove to you I'm a gentleman, why bother? That's what I'm trying to say essentially. So excuse the contradiction. What I'm trying to say is essentially if I'm going to be a gentleman, if before I can prove to you I'm a gentleman, I'm already labeled a murderer, why bother be a gentleman? And because if men actually had that logic, females, you will be met. You will not like it. Not to say we want to attack you. We don't. But a lot of guys are being perceived as murderers and killers, and they're going out of their way to prove that they're not. And it's just like a lot of these times, especially when my friends come around and talk about it, it's meaningless. It's really and truly meaningless. It's just like you have to. All right, let's get a bigger picture of females or people who are victims. Usually same. Usually same. My thing is this, right? You see yourself as victims before you actually get attacked, and I think you guys are mistaking actual attacks versus self attacks or self inflicted attacks. They're two different things. It reminds me of the meme with the child, the white child with the boot in his hand and the boot is on his head and he's screaming like ah. It's your hand on the boot. Take the boot off your face. You'll be fine. So if you think that I am stepping in your face, you're not looking to see if I'm already step. Like if you're already confirming your mind that I'm the one that's stepping in your face, are you looking to see? Let me see if it's actually his foot or versus my hand. No, in your mind, I'm stepping in your face, and that's it. Like we're not looking back. We're not checking for innocence. We're not fact checking anything. There's no fact checking. I feel this way, so it is this way, right? And that's a whole nother topic. Like manifestation of feelings should like just because you feel something doesn't mean it's true or doesn't make it right. Because if you treat feelings like thoughts, do you say everything that comes to your mind? No, because you have some dark thoughts. So if we treat thoughts like how we treat feelings, we have a lot more arguments because people feel like everything they feel should be manifested. No, just as much everything you think does not come to through your mouth because I can't say that because oh that's a dark thought, can't say that. No, that was mean, I can't say that. Okay, when it comes to a feeling, what's that filter to say, hey, okay, I'm feeling this way, but I feel this way, but the truth is this. I feel weak, but I know I'm strong. I feel down, but I know things will be okay. Like just because you have a feeling doesn't make it have to be manifested in the real world. That's and no matter what you believe, that just has to be the truth. You cannot manifest every feeling that you get, just as much you cannot express every thought you can get. So just because you feel victimized, feeling victimized without an actual physical action is crazy. If someone said something to you that's offensive, that's fine. Even though I know some of you guys are really soft, but if nothing's been done, absolutely no one said anything to you, no one commented anything about you, no one did anything to it's just a man walking, man his own business. You feel attacked, you wanna manifest that feeling. Come on, man. That's not fair. Again, I want to leave it here for today. Got time. It's an interesting topic because it's victims are now becoming the bullies that they always hated. There's a lot of similarities between once they feel oppressed, they become a bully. And they don't care. There's no obligation. And then the law is now, in favor of the bullies. If you think about it that way. Like they're bullying Donald Trump. They're bullying people who just have opinions that are different. Like opinions are now seen as nuclear attacks. Like if you have an opinion that's wrong with a massive following, it's the same as a nuclear attack. It's criminal. Like if a crime are no words, a crime is no thoughts or tweets. Crime, violent crimes are no tweets. Man, I wish that was the case in World War III. So many people wouldn't have died. Imagine if that was actually true. Can you imagine like if you're in the World War and like okay being misogynistic. Boom, Japan then. Okay, that'd be fun. I wish that's how it went. But if it didn't work, if that's not how it did, if it didn't work then, if that wasn't valid enough for that. Come on, guys.